I did military service in the Israeli army, in the IDF, between 1964 and 1966. And I was an ardent nationalist. I was a patriot. I really believed in the justice of our cause. I believed that we were a small, peace-loving country surrounded by hostile and predatory Arabs who wanted to throw us into the sea. I still remember the initiation ceremony in the Israeli army on the Judean hills in the twilight, and we all shouted in unison, "By blood and fire Judea fell, by blood and fire Judea will rise again." And we swore loyalty to the homeland. And there was fusillade of firing squad which illuminated the sky. It was a very, very moving experience, heady experience for a boy of 18. And as an academic, I read a lot about nationalism. There is a extensive literature on nationalism. But at that time, I felt nationalism in my bones. So I was a true Israeli nationalist. But after the victory in the June 1967 war, Israel trebled its territory. It captured the Golan Heights, the West Bank, the Sinai Peninsula, and Israel became overtly a colonial power. That's when, and then Israel started building settlements on occupied Palestinian territory in violation of international law. And it's continued to build settlements and expand settlements illegally today. So that's when the disenchantment began, and it was a slow process. And what I felt particularly is that the army had changed, because I served proudly and loyally in the IDF when it was true to its name. It was the Israel Defense Forces. But after June 1967, the character of the army changed. It became the brutal police force of a brutal colonial power. And the main task of the army since then has been, well, not the main task. The main task remained to defend Israel against regular armies of the Arab states. But a new task was to police the occupation in the Palestinian territories. And that completely changed the character of the army. So I could no longer identify with that army. And today it's become really a settlers' army. The IDF in the West Bank doesn't do anything to protect the Arabs. It does everything. It only protects the settlers. And when the settlers go on the rampage and there is really disturbing, alarming escalation of settler violence against Palestinians, the army does nothing to curb them. On the contrary, it supports them. So today my disenchantment with Israel has reached a new climax. But having said all that, I'm still worried about the state of Israel today and the direction it is going, because this right-wing government with extreme right-wing xenophobes in it, like Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir, they have a right-wing agenda, an ethno-nationalist agenda. They are proponents of Jewish supremacy. They say that the whole of the West Bank is part of the land of Israel. The real aim is ethnic cleansing and annexation of the West Bank. But they can't declare that openly, so they're moving stage by stage. one way of paving the way is by neutralizing the judiciary. And Smotrich is Minister of Finance, but he's also in charge of the civil administration on the West Bank. So he controls what the police does on the West Bank. This government has been extremely aggressive in its treatment of the Palestinians on the West Bank. In the protests, very little is said about the government's oppression of the Palestinians. It's all about the defense of Jewish democracy and Jewish rights. The issue that concerns me most is the occupation, that Israel is an apartheid state. And I can't see any change coming from within. I can't see anything inside Israeli society, any impulse to reverse the occupation. So as far as the occupation is concerned, the only hope is pressure from outside on Israel. And sadly, at the moment, there is neither any impulse to end the occupation from within, quite the contrary. The Western governments are all pro-Israeli and give the Israeli government a free pass.